Okay guys, welcome back to another video. This time I'm going to show you guys how to remix just about anything you want in FL Studio 20. So first of all, obviously you're going to need your sample or the thing that you want to remix. You're going to need to download it somehow, figure out a way to do that, right? And the one that I'm going to be using today is from the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright soundtrack. It's the puzzle theme, and it sounds like this. Okay, so you get the gist of it. It's going to be pretty simplistic for the sake of the video. First thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to go to this website called TuneBat, and you can click this button right here. It says Key and BPM Finder, and I'm going to let you know this website only works for me in Opera. For whatever reason, Chrome, Firefox do not work. It does not work with it. I don't know why. You can take your file and just drag and drop right from your file explorer into the little drop box. It'll analyze it and it'll give us our results. So it's in the key of C minor, 128 BPM. Those are the main things you're going to look at, right? So now we need to go into FL Studio 20, change our BPM to 128 to match the sample. Now we can take our sample, just drag it in. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to line up sample with the grid in FL Studio. Right, so if I'm zoomed out like this, it'll look lined up, but we need to do a bit more of a fine adjustment. So if you hold Alt, click and drag, you can freely move it and just line it up. And if we turn on the metronome right here, this button, play. I'm going to turn this down. So you can hear it's lined up. Now we're going to set this to 1 on our mixer track. I'm going to set this to all. I'm going to just delete these real quick. Right click, press D and then O. Goes faster. So first of all, I'm going to do what I would do with any other sample. I would click over here, go to Fruity Parametric EQ2, presets, just click on that, and then go to 40 Hertz cut. And you're going to want to bring it up to about here where the bass and low mid area is. Might have to bring it up a little bit more, might have to not. You know, it depends on your sample. Just listen back. I mean, it doesn't really affect it in this case, but, you know. So, yours is going to probably sound drastically different depending on what you're using. And then the EQ kind of takes stuff away from it, you know? So, to make it sound a bit fuller after doing the EQ, we're going to add Fruity Reverb too. And I'm going to turn this bass knob all the way down. And you can adjust this however you want. Sometimes I'll just leave it at default. I mean, that sounds fine to me. So I'll leave that at default. So now, I mean, the rest is pretty simple. Once we got our setup in here, all we have to do, grab whatever hi-hat you want. I'll just take this simple hi-hat, and for the sake of this, we'll make it really simple. Right click on this, say fill each 2 steps, and see we're on pattern 1 here. Click pattern 1, just click it in. It'll drag it onto, well, not drag it, it'll put it in our arranger. And now if you want to, you can play this back. You can hear that. Here, we'll turn off the metronome. Right click here, say piano roll. Now press Control A, then press Control B, like 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So now we filled up 4 bars. So now we can listen to this back. Pretty simple right now, right? But we got something coming. Now, just take a clap, and what I tend to do as I'm making these remixes, I listen, and as I'm listening, you can click on the thing on the instrument or drum in the sidebar, and it'll play it, give you a preview, so you can try to do it along, so you can kind of preview what it's going to sound like before you put it in. So I'll take 5. I don't know. Set these to mixer track 2 and 3, and you can adjust the volume if you want. Good to try and get everything to be mixed well in terms of volume as well. So then I'm going to open the piano roll again, and I'm just going to throw these in right here, halfway through our bars. Then we can listen to this again. So we could say, okay, that's too slow. Then take these out, hold right click and go over it. And we'll put it in like this. And this is called double time. When you, yeah, that's right, okay. Then because you're effectively doubling the BPM. I mean, you're not, but it sounds faster, you know? I'm gonna go back to just normal. So now we have our basic, and I'm gonna go to the selection tool, highlight, Control B, Control B, Control B, just that way I can hear further along. So that sounds pretty good. Now we're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna actually turn this up a little bit. So in this one, you can tell the volume tends to grow as the thing goes on. So to combat this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the mixer, click on a new slot, and I'm gonna go to Fruity Limiter. I'm going to bring the ceiling knob down. You can see this green line. Now if we play, you can see the waveform there. You're going to want to kind of align that. And you can see these dips these dips are where it's lowering the volume. So when we get up here to where the waveform is at its largest, you can see it's not gonna like, it just helps to normalize the volume throughout the track. And it can take away some of like the impact of certain parts, but I think it's better to have an overall well-mixed sample than to have moments where it's like way louder, moments where it's way quieter. I've just found this to be a good way to do it. And we are going to go ahead, grab our 808. It's going to use the, you know, classic sound here. Go into piano roll. So this is where the key comes into play. So our key is C minor. We're going to go up here to this little drop down arrow, go to helpers, scale highlighting, and it could be set to automatic, could be set to whatever. So we're going to need to go to minor natural, and we're going to go back to here, right? And it was C, so we're already on C. But you can pick whatever note it is for your thing. If it's major, obviously, pick major. Minor, just do minor natural. If it's something else, I don't even know if TuneBat would tell you if it's something else. I guess that's kind of a detriment of using that tool. But now, what I'm gonna do, just click, so we need to right click on the 808 up here, and check mark or cut itself. Otherwise it will sound all muddy and it'll start overlapping. So I'll just throw in a super basic pattern. Sure. And we can listen to this. Yeah, that's not gonna work. We can throw this, boom. Something like that. Yeah, that sounds. so now we have our basic 808 pattern, right? So basically what I did, I just clicked in some notes and click up here, click and drag up here to seek, you know, quote unquote seek, move around so you can play back certain parts, you know. Yeah, so once I got it sounding kind of how I want in terms of the pattern, now we can go in for some note variation. And I will tell you one thing in this, for this video, for the sake of it, I am making these patterns kind of short. Normally, instead of just a 4-bar pattern, I would have it be 8. But for the sake of this, I only did 4. Now, we'll just listen, and when we think that it needs, you know, a higher note or lower note, we're going to change it accordingly. Oh wait, you know, how do you turn on? That's right, key labels. So I can see all the note names. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that works. I don't know why it's not letting me just play. But whatever. Okay. You know, honestly, I don't know if this needs any variation. It sounds okay how it is. But the thing is, most of the time you do want to have no variation or slides, so that way the pattern doesn't get stale quickly. Because if you just have the same note, boom, 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 like that's gonna get old. For 3 minutes, yeah, it's gonna get old. So you want to try and mix it up. I don't think I'll really have to do anything with that. I mean, basically the only thing I could think, you know, something like that. You just throw in that F. It mixes things up a little bit. But other than that, I think we are okay. That's fine. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna Control A, select all, Control C to copy the pattern, and I'm just gonna grab a kick, do this bad guy kick. Set this to 5 on the channel rack, go to piano roll, and now I'm just gonna Control V, paste it in. Now I'm going to want to change this F down to a C. You can do this by selecting with the select tool up here, and then hold shift and then use arrow keys up and down. Otherwise you can just use the pencil tool and drag it up and down. But then you want to make sure that you don't get it off of, you know, like if it is a little bit moved over, then it won't sound good. It'll sound off. So now we can listen to this. That's a little weird, I'll admit. Maybe I'll do the cool kick instead. And you can replace an instrument by just dragging it and covering, like you see how it's highlighted green. If I let go of the mouse, then it replaces. And you want to make sure, most of the time you want to turn off loop points. If you click on here, turn off loop points. But sometimes when you do that replace method, the time wheel might look like this. And then it sounds really weird, you know? So you're going to want to make sure that's all the way down. Just click, drag all the way down. I'm liking that more. Now, we could add just a few other things. I'd say we probably want an open hat. Just grab this one, set it to 6 on the mixer piano roll. We can just do a super basic pattern. Something like that. I'm just listening, turning down the volume a little bit if it needs it. And I am mixing using a gaming headset, so that's not always the best. Sometimes, you know, you want to use other headphones. Try and use the best headphones you can, the most neutral headphones you can. That's why people get stereo monitors or something like that, you know. Now I don't know how I feel about this mix right now, but that's basically the gist of it. Now what we can do, so our cool kick is on mixer track 5, our 808 is on 4. We click on number 5 here, then go to the bottom of number 4, which is our 808. Right click on this little arrow and say sidechain to this track. Now we come over to 4, 808, open up a new slot, and we go to Fruity Limiter. Click this comp tab, right click this little sidechain menu, click insert 5, and bring this threshold knob down and turn the ratio up a bit. And when we play it, you can see these chunks being taken out just like how we did with the sample itself. Now what this is doing, this is lowering the volume of the 808 whenever there's the kick, right? And the reason that you would want to do this is just to have the kick be a bit punchier, right? It breaks through a bit more. Other things that you can do to have the kick be a bit punchier, if you want to, and click this slot 1, and go to Fruity Soft Clipper, right? And then you just max out both of these knobs. And we listen back, that's a bit too loud, right? So we can either turn down this volume knob in the mixer, or we could turn down the effect knob. I prefer to turn down this because I feel like it reduces the punchiness if you turn down the effect knob, which it does because you're basically just turning down the effect a bit, you know. But we're gonna just mess with that while looking at these levels. Make sure everything's kind of similar in terms of the 808 kick, you know. Open hat, close hat, clap. Now what we can do, there's one thing we should probably add. And get a snare. Let's take this one. Now this is something I do to add a bit more force behind the clap, so we can just go into our clap, piano roll, just click on it, Control A, Control C. Right click on this, go to piano roll, Control V. And you're probably going to want to turn down the snare though. And see, that adds a different sound to it there. Now what we can also do is go for that classic, I'm gonna just delete this, right click at the top here, drag to select the area, then Control B to duplicate, and now we can play this back. So you get that little using the snare kind of like a perk. So that's basically what I do. That's basically what I do. Last step would be right click on this here, this pattern 1, and then you say split by channel right here. So now it'll create a bunch of things layered on top of each other. Just hold right click, hover over them, delete them, and now we have all these separate instrument patterns here, which just allows you to do a bit more in terms of arrangement. So you can click on the hi-hats pattern, click it in, drag it, click it in, drag it, click it in, drag it. Right, and now we just have we just have the hi-hat in here now. Now we can do the same thing with the clap, or we could have the clap come in later. Like that. You can have the 808 come in here, sure. Have the kick in. Add that. Open hat come in a little bit later. Throw the snare in. So that's kind of what you can do. And I was duplicating this by just selection tool, highlight it all, Control B. So, and then you basically just figure out where you want each thing throughout the rest of your track, and then you're done. So let's say, that your track, so the track loops right there. So let's say we wanted to make it longer, or let's say that our track was like way shorter, you know. Basically, you just want to find that point where it loops, and then you can just cut it using this slice tool. Just click, drag like that, then let go, and it'll cut it. And then you can just, boom, right click to delete. Now we'll come back to the beginning, and I'm actually going to drag this over a little bit, I think. Now we're going to cut this like that again, and delete the silence at the beginning. And now we have just our sample. So we can click here, just click the sample in the arranger. And you can click it again in an empty space, and it'll like duplicate what you have. And you can just drag that back to the beginning here. So that's a pretty clean loop there that we have. So you can do that as many times as you want. But sometimes you get kind of like a click sound. The only way I can tell you to fix that is you click on the sample in the channel rack, go to the declicking mode, and you can try each of these, try them out, just like select generic, and then listen. And what it does, as you can see here, it does like this kind of like crossfade thing. You can try each one, see which one works best for you. I tend to just use the generic, but that is basically it. Now you just arrange the rest of it and slap a tag on there, and you're done. You can add more effects, you know. I recommend looking at other tutorials for that kind of thing, but for making a remix out of anything in FL Studio, that should be all you need. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.